We have learned 3 ways to factor so far. We have done GCF. We have done star method where A equals 1. And star method where A is greater than 1, correct?
Yeah.
So this is our last kind that we're learning. You're going to have a test on Thursday. Our learning target today says I can factor special trinomials like a ninja pig. Today we are. Look at that ninja pig. Doesn't he look like life goals? He's so sassy. Okay, well then write ninja squirrel.
What happened to the owl?
He ran away.
They can't run.
They do have feet, guys. You know, like they hop.
He got caught.
He got caught?
Yeah.
That's sad. Sad day.
I hate squirrels.
Who hates squirrels?
In my attic and like they'd wake me up at night to go on my roof. I'm like, they want to have a dance party. So we had to get them out of there. One time I had a bat in my closet. Oh no, my dog will go. I was like, Jen, right now. No. Anyways.
Good talk, guys. Alright, so when we did special products, remember we started out with something like A plus B quantity squared, and it turned into this. So now we're going backwards. We're starting with our special trinomial, and we're going backwards to our special product. Does everybody understand so far? This one would be A minus B quantity squared. And can anybody remember what the third kind was that we did? Think back, dig deep.
The A plus B. Then what that A minus
Look at you go, but not squared. Take a point. A plus B times A minus B. All right. Are we ready? Yes? Yes? Okay, so the way you do this is you can only use this technique when your first and third term are perfect squares. So this has to be a perfect square, and this has to be a perfect square. Do you guys remember what perfect squares are?
Yes.
What are they? Like if you take the square root, you get a whole number, right?
Yes.
So is 4 a perfect square?
Yes.
Is 9?
Yes.
Is 8? Is 12? 12 is a perfect square? Is 16?
Yes.
25?
Yes.
36?
Yes.
72?
No. Yes. How your face looks.
My face looks great. That has nothing to do with it. Is 72 a perfect square? No. Remember we wrote all these down on a little piece of paper? I mean a note card? You'll need it for Thursday for our test? Yes.
What's this other animal? So I can know what color it is.
We're all in a thing.
I just
That's a fat squirrel.
why we talked about squirrel.
I thought it was a
this
chipmunk.
thought about it.
I know.
Oh my gosh, over there.
Maybe I'll get one for next year and you can come visit him.
You told me about teacher this year. Yeah, so are you visiting class?
Okay, so to solve these, it's very, very easy. Are we ready?
No.
Okay. Let's just take our sweet time coloring our pig and squirrel.
I'm trying to color in the line.
So you start by taking the square root of the first term. So what is our first term here in our example?
A.
A squared. And what's the square root of a squared?
A.
A. Look at us go. Take a point. Then you take the square root of the third term. What's our third term?
B squared.
Take a point. And what's the square root of b squared?
B.
Take a point. And that's all you do. And then slap a squared on the outside. Why? Do you have your note card? Maybe you can make a new one. Okay. Good talk. Just don't want you to sound so sad.
I still use my card and use the thing instead of
There's no judgment.
what does stuff say about the A and the B?
Perfect squares, perfect squares. Are we ready?
Yes.
Where's the square? I'm gonna go with perfect. Oh my god! I was so shook. I said, huh?
Okay, this is our first example of a perfect square trinomial sum. That's what this is called because we have two plus signs, so it's a sum. Perfect square trinomial sum. Now, you always start by looking to see if the first and third term are perfect squares. Are the first and third term perfect squares?
Yes.
Yes. So then, you draw your parentheses. You put a plus sign, and you write a squared on the outside. Because we're going to end up with 2, but we don't have to write 2. We can just write blah, blah, squared. Okay, so we take the square root of the first term. What's the square root of x squared?
X.
X. So we write an x there. What's the square root of 36?
6.
So you write a 6 there. And you're done.
What?
I know, Tater Tot. I know. There's not very much in this class that's super difficult. Other than dealing with y'all.
That was easy.
I took a lot of problems. That's all. 36.
Alright, let's do another one. Look at you, I'm super proud. 4y squared plus 12y plus 9. Sorry.
Are you gonna make me?
Maybe.
I need it. We got outside.
Wait. We're having lunch when? No, we go to lunch from 12:21 to 12:43.
Oh wow, that's
Today?
I don't know.
Tomorrow you go ask your
No, that's today. So y'all don't get to eat lunch until 12:21.
sweet.
What time is it? Don't you have a whole hour?
Oh, a whole hour from now.
No.
Oh my gosh, I'm starving.
What was we thinking?
Oh, wait, we're still in class?
Yes, until 12:21. Okay,
Huh? We need to stop. We need to take the
pause. Does anybody have food?
It's not a normal day.
I got.
Okay, so for this one, is the first term a perfect square?
Yes.
Is the third term a perfect square?
Yes.
Okay, so let's take the square root. What's the square root of 4y squared?
2.
2y. Good job, Marshall. Take a point. What's the square root of 9?
3.
And we slap a squared on it. Now, where did my 12 go?
It's when you factor it out, right?
Yeah. But how do you, humana. You can check it to make sure that you get 12y when you multiply everything out. Because remember, it's just 2ab. So we would do 2y times 3, which is, times 2 is, and there it is.
Oh.
So it didn't really disappear.
I thought you just like took it out.
Nope.
Yeah, I thought we just didn't do that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay, I just dropped popcorn. There it is. Alright, here we go. Here's the schedule for the rest of the day. We are together until 12:43.
12:40.
No, we are together until. Alright, so, no, 12:21, thank you. And y'all will go to lunch from 12:21 to 12:43. I was about to say, my God, I don't love you that much. Fifth period, you go from 12:48 to 1:28. Sixth period, 1:33 to 2:13. So it hasn't really shifted that much
A
there.
couple minutes. Wait,
I'm gonna get
because
it.
we got PE at 2 up.
Yes.
That's a long time. What?
Anybody else need to take a picture of this?
I wanted to.
We got quiet.
Wait, I thought they finished ACT because I saw all the sophomores go back to class.
Fingers and fingers got tested as well.
Yeah, I JoJo's oh. came to school today. Just that.
That's why we couldn't get out of school. We did not test it.
Alright,
Got it.
ready for the second con?
Like, do the big ones.
Now, is there any difference between our first section and our middle section?
It's a, yeah.
Subtraction sign. So, that's why we have a minus right here. So, this is going to be crazy. Are you ready?
I got to the minus when you put the parentheses.
Take the square root of the first term. Take the square root of the third term. Put it in parentheses, slap a minus in there. It is. But when can you use this method? When is the only time you can use this method?
Whenever A and when the first number and the last number are perfect square.
Take a point. So this has to be a perfect square, and this has to be a perfect square to be able to use this method. Otherwise, you would just use the star method. Does everybody understand? So our example that we're going to do is 16x squared minus 24x plus 9. So is 16 a perfect square?
Yes.
Is 9 a perfect square?
Yes.
Take the square root of the first and third time, slap a subtraction sign between, blah, blah. Remix. Alright, what's the square root of 16x squared?
4x.
What's the square root of 9?
3.
Put a subtraction sign, slap a squared on it.
Why'd you put 9?
Oh, because I'm crazy. Thanks, taters.
Oh my gosh.
Now, let's make sure we get the middle term. What's 4 times 3?
12.
Times 2?
24.
We did it right.
Oh, that's how you check it.
Yes, sir. Alright, one of us, and then we're doing the last one, and then you get your homework, and you get your packet, and then I don't know what we're going to do for an hour together.
Yeah, we can watch The Office.
We can all take a nap.
Or we can watch this stuff.
We could just do our work.
Mom.
There's an idea.
Wow, I like mine better.
Campfire song?
Yeah.
25a squared minus 20a plus 4.
I like when you say that loud. That's
Alright, it's our first term of perfect square.
Yes.
It's our third term of perfect square. So we can use this method to factor it. That is the only time when the first and third are perfect squares. So, what sign is going to be in the middle? Why?
Because
Because these
And C is?
positive.
Yep. So both of them would have to be negative. Alright, what's the square root of 25a squared?
5A. I meant 5A.
What's the square root of 4?
2.
And we're done! Does anybody have any questions? Are you sure? Do you understand what we just did? In both of them. When is the only time we use this method to factor?
When the first and the third term are perfect squared.
Yes. Alright, now, last one. What is the only, what is,
You'll get there.
I have a question.
They're both
yes.
squared.
And like the thing about the cloud and stuff, it's kind of like squared. Why are the outside ones? Like for the middle one?
It's just an example. Okay. Now, what's the difference here?
They're both squared.
They're both squared. There's only two terms, right? So 2 terms, 2 parentheses. 3 terms, 1 parenthesis. Okay? So, what you do, this is mind-blowing. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Wait, boy.
Does it take the square root of the first term and take the square root of the second term?
Look at you go, Marshall. Take a point. So you take the square root of the first term. You take the square root of the second term. Put it in 2 parentheses, slap a plus and minus on it.
So it's second term and third term.
Right, because we don't have 3 terms. Are we ready? Do we need another minute, anybody?
Yes.
Other than you, because you're a weirdo and take 97 years?
I had a look at it.
97 years.
Well, not really.
Are we ready now? Are we ready? Alright, so if I give you an example of x squared minus 1, are both of those perfect squares?
Yes. Yes. 1 times 1.
Yes, and x times x is x squared, right?
Yes.
So, 2 terms, how many parentheses am I going to have? 2. With a plus, it was. That's why I'm doing it. What's the square root of x squared? So you write an x here, an x here. What's the square root of 1?
1.
So you write a 1 here and a 1 here, and you're done.
Like, yeah, it's kind of amazing because, like, there's one negative one.
Alright, ready for another one? Yes? Do you need me to zoom in? Like, what's wrong with you?
I think there's probably like guys on here. I kind of read that. Okay.
Alright, uno más, and then homework. Homework and packet.
Where's the package?
Your next example is, I want to do, let's go crazy. 81 a to the 4th minus 121 b squared.
Be on the test.
I think you could try it without me.
Oh, I'm good.
If I get it,
I did 4.
You can get 2.
Alright. Okay.
Don't say it out loud either. Oh my.
Jasmine got it.
3 points.
Yeah. It's not bad.
You ready, Micah? You can do it for 2 more points. Real close. 2 terms, how many sets of parentheses should you have?
I do that.
People are
I think I got it.
Actually,
You got me.
Real close. 2 points.
Can we go over there?
Come check mine again.
2 points. Real close. Watch your signs. Wait, which one? I don't
You
know.
know what
That's
I
what I
mean.
ordered.
Yes, okay, good. You got mine.
Nope, real close. Real close. Okay, some of us are not reading our directions on what it tells us to do step by step. Or we're reading it, but we're not interpreting it correctly. So it says take the square to the first term. What's our first term? 81a to the 4th, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you take the square root of that, that's 9a squared, 9a squared. So you notice that when we take the square root, we separate it. Alright, then what's the square root of 121b squared? So 11b minus 11b. Correct.
Oh, I was confused. I put 12 instead of 2.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah. Alright, are we ready for our homework?
Yes.
Do we need to walk through that problem one more time? Like what? Are we okay? Are we alive?
We got time to do
Are we tired?
We got time to do our homework.
Yeah, we got like an hour together.
Sweet.
Alright, turn the paper over. I may put on like a movie or something. I don't know.
Heads up, Sonic.
We want spaghetti.
Yeah, you guys do something.
I watched that movie.
5.
That bar.
Yes.
Why did that?
Hey, don't throw my friends down, bro. My fault, it's not your fault. What?
I didn't do anything. I just said I was going to take it. And you said,
That's very true. You did go psycho for no reason.
yeah.
Hello.
My knees hurt. Better try. Gosh.
My toe keep on falling in my foot.
It shows you how to factor special products at the top. It's crazy. And then it tells you what to do. So it says factor difference of squares polynomials. So you would come up here and look for difference of squares. Does everybody understand? And then you'd turn it over, factor perfect square trinomials. So you'd look for perfect square trinomial. Factor perfect square trinomial difference. And it even gives you examples of what to do. Is everybody with me? Okay. Then the last one is cubes. It tells you what to do. I want you to do 1 through 12 tonight on the front. This is due Thursday with your study guide and for your test. Use this and your packet and your study guide to study. Does everybody understand? Right now you need to do these 4. Then you're going to bring them to me and I'm going to check it.